A former British Olympian living in East Tennessee remembers her moments on the biggest stage in sports.
Kirsten Susell joining us with her story. Kirsten.
Right, and her name's Susan Jackson, and she actually told me that she's not quite sure how she came to love winter sports because she hates the cold, but it's a good thing that Susan fell in love with ice skating because it took her to heights she could only dream of.
We had a string of Olympians at that time. It was like John Curry was 76, Robin Cousins was 80, Jane Torval and Christopher Dean were the ice dancers in 84, and I actually grew up in the same hometown and rink as them in Nottingham, England. So I had a lot of influence around me.
Susan Jackson graced the ice at the age of 7, and in her early teens realized she had something special in her.
I placed second in the primary championship in England, and I didn't like being second. Yeah, I went on to then win like the junior championship, the intermediate championship, and the senior championship. So.
Wasn't gonna happen again.
No.
That determination would propel her to the 1984 Olympics in Sarajevo.
The feeling inside you of being so proud to be representing your country at the Olympics, the chances of that are so slim. You know, it's almost like the 1,000 to 1 shot that so few people get to do that. You just burst with pride.
Susan finished 17th in the 1984 Winter Games and competed for 2 more years, but the Olympic experience remains with her.
I'm still friends with a lot of people that I've known on the international circuit since I was 15. That connection is always there. It's like a secret understanding that maybe the layperson doesn't understand, and maybe that's the same with any sport, that you will have that connection that somebody understands ultimately what you went through.
Susan is now passing on her knowledge as a skating instructor here in East Tennessee. She hopes to make an impact on her students, just as her late coach, world-renowned Arnold Gershweiler did for her.
I would really love that my students think as fondly of me as I think of my coach. He taught me so much more in life lessons than just figure skating, and it brings me no greater joy than students coming back and wanting to meet with me, wanting to have coffee with me when they're long out of the sport. And that's the biggest payback for me.
In between competing and coaching, Susan joined touring shows, including Disney on Ice, and she told me that her 18-year-old daughter is about to kind of submit her tryout video to follow in her footsteps. All of her kids ice skate, so she passed that along to her kids.